Hey, this is Matt Wenning at winningstrength.com, and today we're going to talk about strength and how it solves nearly every problem that we deal with today in society and in athletics. So let's get to it. The first thing that strength does for most people, unless you're already insanely strong, which is not most of the population, is it makes everyday tasks easier, right? So how I figured this out was in 2006, I started working for the U.S. military, and I go and work with the Army Rangers. Now these guys are some of the top dudes in the military, and when I get down there, I was only impressed with maybe 5 out of 700 guys' strength level. Their ability to run and do plyometrics and agility work was awesome because that's what they focused on, but their strength levels were low and their injury rates showed it. Once we go in there, they kind of switched more to an anaerobic training and strength training protocol that was a little bit more aggressive. Injury rates fell by 30%, and a lot of guys came back from deployments telling me how much more physically able they were to do the job versus just running. A lot of that comes from needing equipment to strength train, but also laziness. So a lot of the top level people that are in charge of PT, it's hard to develop a strength training program, so just run down to the end of the base and back. That's easy, right? And that's kind of what happens with the military, even in special ops units, is that strength training's come a long way, but it still has a long way to go. But the point is that strength can solve a lot of problems with everyday tasks, being stronger, carrying equipment. So if your job is, say, tactical and you're carrying a bulletproof vest and armor, and weapons, you're going to have external weight on you that is going to need to be stronger in order for you to still move correctly. We see this a lot. As you'll see, we work with a lot of fire departments here in town. You're weighing nearly 50 to 80 pounds more. That's if the gear's not sweaty and wet when you walk into a fire than your body weight. So if you're not super fit and strong, that extra 80 pounds can really weigh you down and really hamper your ability to do better. The next thing is that not only does it make overall tasks easier, it raises bone density. So when we get stronger, our bones are stronger, our ligaments and tendons are stronger, and everything is aging slower. So we have a bone density increase. So for you women that are watching this, we're talking about osteoporosis. Now osteoporosis has a lot to do with calcium, has a lot to do with diet and stress and all these other factors, but in my opinion, I think it has most to do with the pressure set on the bones. If you're just walking around doing basic stuff, then the bones are going to adjust to basic activities. Well, that's all fine and good until you slip down the stairs and land with 2 times body weight on one knee or one ankle or one hip, and then they break. The point is that you want to be as strong as you possibly can to increase that bone density so that when something does happen that's out of the ordinary, the bones are at least semi-prepared in order to take the impact. Because in reality, most people get fractures and have ligament, and tendon, and bone issues due to some high-impact movement, whether passive or done on your own, right? So the point is that we need to be strong enough to sustain things that are unknown. Slipping and falling down the stairs, busting your ass on ice, getting out incorrectly in the car. I mean, all these things eventually call your card as you age or even if you're younger. The next thing is that it decreases mortality rates. So what you find is that there's a lot of studies coming out that's showing, especially overseas, that strength training is actually reducing mortality rates. So strong is the ability to age less. And the reason that really happens is the more muscle mass you have, the higher your resting metabolic rate, the more calories you can eat, and the easier you can move. You don't really see people that are 75, 80 years old that are still fairly athletic. They still have a decent amount of muscle. It's not just because they're skinny. So this is for you females and normal people out there, is that do not neglect getting stronger because you heard that cardiovascular training was going to make you better. In reality, when you get sick and don't want to eat, you may only have muscle to eat off of. And if you're already a stick figure, well, you're going to get sicker way faster. So the point is, don't be a fat ass, but don't just focus on being smaller or weighing less. Focus on body fat percentages and having higher amounts of muscle tissue, and you'll find that your activity level is much higher. That also ties into the anti-aging, okay? So if you don't want to age as fast, you need to make sure that you're strength training, especially with posture movements. And what does that mean? That means things like belt squats, reverse hypers, 45-degree back extensions, things that are fighting anti-gravity, right? Or gravity in and of itself. If gravity's pushing us down, let's take the old lady walking in the grocery store that we've all seen with horrible posture. She didn't get that way from years of bench pressing or squatting heavy. She got that way from gravity pushing on her over many years. The point is that if your exercises are reversing that gravitational effect, the chances of your skeletal system aging slower and you looking younger are much, much higher based on the fact that your posture is better. There are also papers out that suggest that posture has a key role in how well your heart and lungs function based on poor posture crunching those organs over, causing them to have to work harder over a longer period of time. So I hope that this opens your mind to start thinking that you need to get stronger. Now, not all of us have a lot of time, effort, or energy in order to look up and find out what the best training protocols are for us. That's where we come in. So if you need help with online coaching, manuals, TRAINHEROIC, or Patreon, all of these tools are going to help you kind of decipher through the bullshit and get to what you actually need faster and do it safer. So we hope to see you on winningstrength.com.